Back in January when I did my declutter series, I realized that I had quite a few eyeshadow palettes that I had never used. Almost 90 to be exact. So in February on my community tab, I put a poll up with 4 of those palettes that I have not used so that you could choose which one I would do a video on. And you chose the Danessa Myricks Lightwork VII. This is a beautiful, beautiful palette. And it's unbelievable that I haven't even touched it. So in this video, I am going to use this palette. However, I am not really going to do a review. We're going to explore this palette in a different way. I'm sure you have heard it said that as we get older, our makeup should be softer and more age appropriate. That's like saying that bold is inappropriate and that as we mature, being visible is just a little bit too much. And I totally disagree with that. So we're going to use this palette in 2 ways. I'm going to create a soft look, and then I'm going to turn it into bold. Same face, same age. I'm 61 years old. Same palette, different choices. So if you're into all of that, let's do it. I would imagine that for most people, this palette can be intimidating because it has a lot of very, very bold shades in it. But I'm going to show you that you can take a very bold palette and make it very soft visually. I have already put on my lotions and potions and serums and such. I have done my base face. I used a Danessa Myricks foundation that I have been testing out. I will have all of the products linked down in the description box below so that you know what I used. I will put the brushes down there too. I'm really not going to talk much about brush and technique so much as the topic of age-appropriate makeup. So I think I'm going to start off with this section of the palette here. And I'm going to go first into this very light shade and just do a very soft wash of color. Danessa's eyeshadows can be very pigmented, but in order to combat that, not that you should combat your eyeshadows, is you just start off with a very light application. I typically end up going way too heavy-handed. And you know, soft, natural, more natural, can be very elegant and refined. The type of makeup that you wear, whether it is a soft look or a bold look, is all about choice. And you absolutely have the choice to choose what you want or how you want your makeup to look. Just because somebody tells you that you should be soft or you should be bold, there are no shoulds in makeup. You need to do what makes your soul, your heart happy. That's the whole point. Next, I'm going to go here into this shade and use that to deepen up my crease. So soft should be a preference, not a requirement. I don't think anybody should tell you that you have to create a soft or minimal eyeshadow look. But at the same time, nobody should tell you that you can't. It truly is personal preference. Typically, when people say age appropriate, what they're often saying is less noticeable. And I think less noticeable can work for any age. It can work for a 16-year-old. I mean, what exactly does age appropriate mean? I know that there are some things that are age appropriate, but I think that that typically is for somebody underage. I don't know that there are age appropriate things when it comes to an adult who has the ability to make up their own mind. So in this first little 6-pan palette, there are 2 shades that I want to choose from. And as you can see, swatched on my finger and on my hand, they seem very bold. But if you take a dry brush, and I think I am going to go with this one instead of that green, and just pick up a little bit. I may have already picked up too much, and just lightly brush it on. You just get a nice soft wash of color. It does not look as bold. It's all in how you apply your shadows. You do not have to put them on heavy if you do not want to. You can just do a very nice, soft wash of color, which makes that shade very wearable. Let me put it on my finger one more time. You see? That is very bold, and what I have on my eyes is not. It's just a nice, soft wash of color. And now I'm going to go back into that first shade with a flat brush, and I'm going to pick up some of that color, and I'm going to put that on my inner lid. And the reason that I am doing that is I want to use that to soften the shadow that I'm going to put on next. And I'm going to go into this shade here, which, as you can see, is very, very bold. That has a high shine to it. It has a gold flip. And I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to just lightly brush that in the inner corner of my eye. It just puts a soft hint of that shade, and that is not too bold. It is very subtle. And so at this point, you have a very wearable, very soft, very nice, age-appropriate eye look. So this is beautiful. It's very polished. And if this feels aligned to you, then you need to wear it proudly. And now we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm not going to take this off. I often have done this and wondered if there are other people that do this as well. Like, I may do this type of look and wear it to work. And then I come home from work to get ready for an event. And instead of taking my makeup off and creating something more evening appropriate or a little bit bolder, I just apply over what's already there. Does anybody else do that, or is that just me? So I'm going to go back into this little bit of a darker shade here. I wish that there was one more shade that was just a little bit darker than this, but I'm going to put that in my outer corner and in my crease and just deepen that up just a little bit. And we'll see, I may end up using just a little bit of that black. And then, because these shades here are just calling to me. I'm going to go into those. My goodness. Look at how pretty they are. And in the pan, I thought this one would be darker than the other. But it's not. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to take the middle one here, right here, and I'm going to put that in the center. Even that, just applied that way with the brush, does not look very intense. If you want it to be really intense, you can use a primer or you can use your finger. My gosh, that shade is gorgeous. I'm so happy that y'all picked this palette because I had not used it at all. And so I had no idea how this would perform, but it's performing beautifully. And these shades are so rich and soft, and I have no fallout whatsoever, none. So that's a little bit more intense than what that other shade was. And then I'm going to take the other shade, which is kind of flaky a little bit. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm thinking that maybe I should do that. Let's try that on my pinky, because I want to put that right in the inner corner. Very pretty. And again, I could have gone even more intense than that by using a setting spray to kind of wet the shadow, or using like a glitter primer. And because I love that first shade so much, and I think that has like a bit of a green shift to it, and I love green and pink together, so I'm going to put some of that just right here at the edge. And I think I will still maybe go into that black and just make it a little bit deeper. Even to me, this, I know to some people this would be very bold and outside of their comfort zone. For me, this is not. I could have wet that shadow and put it on to get something very, very intense. So let me take a smaller brush and just grab a little bit of that black just to deepen up that outer corner a little bit. I just want a little bit more depth there to support the intensity of those other shadows. And then I'm going to take that other brush and just make sure to smooth that out with no additional eyeshadow on it, just using what was left on the brush. And now if I wanted to take this up a notch, I could add some of that blue, which is very intense. But I'm going to pick this other shade, this one, to go in my inner corner because this has some pink. It has that gold, but it also has somewhat of a pink shift to it. So I'm going to pick that up on a smaller brush, and I'm going to put that here in my inner corner. That is so pretty. So here's something that I have noticed. When younger women use bold makeup, they're called creative. And then when older women wear bold makeup, people say it's too much. I feel like that's kind of a double standard, and I'm not here for that. I don't believe that bold makeup makes a mature woman look foolish. I think it makes her look loud and proud and visible, as she should be. So I'm going to do my lashes and do a bold lip, and I'll be right back. So this is the finished bold look with a bold lip. I could have darkened it up a little bit with some black eyeliner. For the soft look, you could have done a soft brown eyeliner if you wanted to, maybe some brown mascara, and a very neutral lip. So like I said, I have heard people say that this palette is too intense and bold for just everyday wear, but I disagree. This palette is not just bold, it's versatile. You can either do something very soft with a light touch and a light hand, or you can go as bold as you want to go. The important thing is don't shrink just because somebody told you that you should. If you want to shine, then shine on, my friend. You need to wear whatever feels like you at whatever age you are. The other thing about this palette quickly is a lot of people would say that it's way too expensive. And it is a hefty price at, what is it, $128, $129, not that that $1 makes a difference. And that can be a hefty price tag. Just to give you a little bit of context, I paid $28 for this palette because I look for sales, I use points on my credit card or rebates. I plan for these types of purchases so that I'm not investing all of my money into an expensive eyeshadow palette. But if I wanted to do that, I damn sight would. So now tell me, are you soft? Are you bold? Are you sometimes soft and then you're bold, depending on your mood? Let me know down in the comments. So thank you for recommending this palette. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to use it again. I am going to put it here on my vanity so that I can continue to get some use out of it. I want to use those blues. Those blues are just gorgeous. And if you're looking for a really, really good review of this palette, you should check out Alicia Archer. She does amazing, amazing reviews. I will put a link to her review of this palette down in the description box. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it has either inspired you or motivated you to wear whatever makeup you want to. I would love it if you would show that like button some love. Give the video a hype, share it out, and as always, I'd like to remind you that makeup is meant to enhance the natural beauty that you already are, and we are all beautiful at any age and any size. Find something to be grateful for today, pull your makeup out and play with it, and I will see you in my next video. And if you have just a little bit more time to spend with me, YouTube thinks that you will like this video right here. Okay. Love you, bye.